Well guys, I've been loading up on Tesla stock very recently, all right? There are three things I want to accomplish in today's video, okay? The first one is how much have I bought worth of Tesla stock in the past 24 hours? I'm gonna actually show you some screenshots on three different accounts I bought Tesla stock in the past 24 hours, okay? Number two thing I want to accomplish in today's video is I want to give you the three reasons why I am buying a lot of Tesla stock right now specifically and not waiting for a few months down the road or something like that. I want to share exactly why I'm buying these shares right now, okay? Number three thing I want to accomplish in today's video is basically answer, am I going to be buying any more Tesla stock, or am I done buying Tesla stock at this point in time, okay? Now, there are four different accounts I own Tesla stock in, so if this video hits 2,999 thumbs up or more, I will do a video next week where basically I show you all four accounts I own Tesla shares in and exactly my cost basis is, guys. So as always, hope you enjoyed today's video. Let's start getting into it, all right? So just in the past 24 hours, in three different accounts, I bought Tesla shares, okay? The first one here, I bought 20 Tesla shares. These ones I got at a price of $218.75, and this was literally just yesterday I bought these particular shares. It's in a margin account, but I'm not buying them on margin. It just takes at least, I think it's 3 business days for the money to clear, and the money hadn't cleared, so it's on margin for 3 days, and then it will go off when some money clears. But I bought $4,379.96 worth of shares in this particular account here, okay? So that's a pretty big move there. In another account today, I went ahead and bought some more Tesla shares, okay? In this particular account, I bought 9 shares worth at $216.58 there. This one was just under a $2,000 move there in that particular account. That account we didn't have many Tesla shares in. And then also in my 401k account or retirement account, whatever you want to call it, I went ahead and I had some extra money laying around that one, so I went ahead and bought 8 shares in that particular account at $216.75 there. That was a $1,739.02 move there. So needless to say, that's a pretty decent amount of money we've stuffed into Tesla stock here within just the past 24 hours, okay? Let's get into number two now. What are the three reasons why I'm buying so much Tesla stock literally right now, okay? The first one is I want to talk about the stock price of Tesla for a minute here, okay? What I just basically pulled up here is a 5-year chart for Tesla stock. And if you notice, the stock price of Tesla was literally higher back in 2014 than it is today. First off, how ridiculous is that? Like, think about Tesla many years ago. It was nothing more than just hype and like hope that things could work out for Tesla in the future, okay? Whereas nowadays you look at Tesla's business model and you know, they're gonna probably do somewhere between 25 and $30 billion worth of revenues this year. They'll probably do well over $30 billion worth of revenues next year. And they're actually like a massive company now at this point in time. So to have a stock price that's actually technically lower than it was, you know, years and years ago, like, just first off, that's ridiculous, okay? But the second off, like when you look at a stock price like that, it can lull you to sleep. It can be like, oh, it's a sleepy stock. I have all the time in the world to buy the stock. It hasn't really done anything for years. And this is the mindset some investors can come across when they see a stock that hasn't moved in years, because sometimes there's like a stock that's moving up and moving up and moving up, and people are running in those shares to buy them as soon as possible because they're like, oh my gosh, the stock just keeps going up and up and up. I need to get my position built. Oh my gosh, I got to buy shares, and that could, you know, makes the stock go up more and more and more. But when you have a stock that hasn't moved and really hasn't done much in years, sometimes it lulls people to sleep. And even if that stock is a great value, and even if that stock has tremendous growth in front of it, and maybe it's undervalued, a lot of people will say, you know what, I'll just wait another few weeks. I'll just wait a few more months. There's no reason for me to put any money in the stock now because look, it hasn't done anything in years, okay? So let me show you some other examples of stocks that have lulled people to sleep, okay? We go look at Amazon stock. Amazon stock in 2003, you could have bought the stock for about 54 bucks a share, okay? 2003. You go 5 years into the future, and you could have gotten the stock even cheaper at $51 a share. And so Amazon was definitely a stock that was lulling people to sleep for many years, okay? I'm not saying Tesla is the next Amazon or something like that, but if you look at some of these great, you know, Goliath big tech companies, sometimes they just get, you know, flat out overvalued. And if we go back to, you know, Tesla Tesla back in 2014, in my opinion, that was a company that was severely overvalued. I looked into Tesla way back then, and I looked at this company, I was like, for what they were doing at that time, it was way overvalued stock. And that happens sometimes with these stocks. They get way overvalued, and then they actually start doing everything they were supposed to do, and then the stock becomes actually undervalued in some of these situations. Like, what? But Amazon stock was absolutely a stock that lulled people to sleep because it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing for years and years and years. And then from 2008, it's a $50 stock. 2019, you know, it was almost $2,000 a share. Okay, so it was a little bit of a difference there. Netflix, another stock that had lulled people to sleep. So 2011, you could get this stock for 37 bucks a share. You fast forward, you know, all the way to 2014, this was a $46 stock. So the stock literally had done hardly anything in years and years and years. And keep in mind, 2011 and 2014 was actually a time when the stock market was doing very, very well and tons of stocks were going up a lot. But you had this Netflix stock like hardly doing anything. And by the way, that time was basically, you know, Netflix was switching from DVD model to streaming. And a lot of people were scared of Netflix stock at that particular time. But needless to say, that stock hardly did anything for years and years and years while the stock market was going crazy, okay? Next one up here is NVIDIA. This one's really crazy. You want to talk about a stock that really lulled people to sleep. Look at NVIDIA. 2006. 2006, this was a stock that you could buy for basically $24 a share, 25 bucks a share in 2006. You fast forward a decade and it was $31 a share. NVIDIA stock literally almost did nothing for an entire decade, okay? Sometimes it just happens with some of these stocks. You look at a stock like AMD, 2010, you pay $8+ for the stock, okay? In 2015, you could buy the stock for $2, okay? By the way, AMD's $30 now. So needless to say, when I kind of look at something like Tesla stock price, I'm looking at a stock that in my opinion is just way too undervalued. It was in a stage, you know, many years ago where it was way too much hype and hope in the stock, and the stock was massively overvalued. And now when I look at the stock, I believe it's, you know, they've proven so much already and they have so much going for them in the future. I believe Tesla stock's very undervalued now. And when I look at this stock, I say, this is a stock that is lulling people to sleep. Just because it hasn't done anything in years, people assume it won't do anything anytime soon. And what ends up happening to some of these stocks, eventually the momentum gets behind them and they get to a place of no return and they take off. You know, look at an Amazon stock, right? Eventually that stock, you know, reached a place of no return. You look at NVIDIA, you look at AMD, you look at a lot of these different stocks that, you know, are great tech companies, Netflix, you know, eventually they get to a place where Wall Street catches up with what's going on with the company and they reach a place of no return. I believe Tesla stock, that will eventually happen with. I don't know if that's going to happen in 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. I do not know when, but what I do know is I believe Tesla stock is massively undervalued. I believe it's going to be a massive growth company into future years, and I believe this will be a company that makes huge profits in the future that just aren't right now, okay? So that's reason number one, okay, of the three. Now let's get into reason number two why I'm buying the stock heavy right now, and that is because the Shanghai Gigafactory is getting ready to open here within the next few months, all right? Tesla's first made in China Model 3 to be showcased tomorrow, all right? So that is pretty exciting. Look at these pictures here of the inside of the Gigafactory in Shanghai. It is amazing how fast this thing has gone up, okay? Now, first off, there's still a lot of work to be done with the Gigafactory over there in Shanghai, okay? They got a lot of work. It should get into some type of decent production probably within the next 3 months, but they're still gonna have a lot of work going on in that factory for at least probably the next 6 months, okay? So just keep that in mind. Like you see some of these pictures coming out and whatnot, there's still a lot to be done there over the coming months, okay? But needless to say, I'm really, really excited about that Gigafactory. I think that's a game changer for Tesla in how many vehicles they're going to be able to sell into the Chinese market. The Chinese market could potentially be the largest market for Tesla if you're looking out 3 years from now, 5 years from now. It could literally be the largest individual market for Tesla. And so if I'm thinking about this, I'm like, this Gigafactory is opening in the next few months. What if the stock goes crazy once that Gigafactory opens up and they start putting up some huge numbers out of China and those cars are actually much more profitable than the ones they're selling into North America? Who knows if that will be the case, but I'm like, okay, I believe the stock's really undervalued here. It's lulling people to sleep. They think it's just going to be like this forever. Shanghai Giga is going to open soon. I need to get this position built out as fast as possible, okay, and get it finished off, okay? That's reason number 2. Gigafactories in China is going to be opening very, very soon. And then reason number 3 has to do with Model Y. So you have obviously the excitement around Shanghai Gigafactory coming here at the end of 2019, but then in 2020, Model Y will start being produced. And Model Y has a chance to be the biggest game-changing vehicle since Model 3, if not, you know, a better seller than actually Model 3. When you think about, you know, some people might want a Model 3, but maybe they want a little more space, which, by the way, I will say, you know, I actually own a Model 3, and I will say it's actually one of the most spacious cars for being not like a huge car that I've ever been in my life. Like I'm 6'3", and I can even sit in the back seat and like my head's not going through the roof. There are very few cars where I can sit in the back seat of that car and my head's not like in the roof or something like that. So I will say, you know, that's pretty amazing about Model 3, but Model Y, a lot of people are looking to that as like that family vehicle and get people around. And maybe like the Model 3, they just look at that and they're like, nah, it's just not enough space. I want something with even a little more headroom, maybe a little more leg room. So I look at something like a Model Y, and that really gets a lot of people excited. So that one might have a better chance of selling really well. So if I'm looking at all that excitement coming around this stock over the next year or so, I'm saying, okay, we got a stock that's lulling people to sleep. We got a company that's now well financed with billions and billions of dollars on that balance sheet, that's in a great position to get the Model Y lines built out and start going into great production of Model 3 in China. And I'm looking at all this and I'm saying, you know, this is a stock that, you know, hasn't moved in years, and it's, you know, cheaper price than you could have got it years ago. And I'm looking at all the unreal things they're doing, and I think Wall Street has just gotten lost in Tesla. They've just gotten lost in the negativity or not wanting to be part of the stock. And the more and more I look at it, the more and more I'm like, dude, this is, you know, this is one of the few companies in the world that has a chance to 5 and 10x their business over the next 5 to 10 years. There are very few companies that you can realistically say that that company has a chance to 5x or 10x their revenues and become a massively profitable company over the next, you know, 5 or 10 years. There's very few stocks out there. Tesla's one of those few cases that you can literally look at it and you're like, dude, I can see how they could literally grow their business 5x or 10x over the next 5 to 10 years. Very few companies like that. So when I look at this stock at a $38 billion market cap or whatever, it has under 40 billion, I'm looking at the stock and I'm like, you know, we got to finish getting this position built out. As far as will I be buying some more shares, I will be buying a little more shares, not a lot of shares. I think I have maybe 10 more shares to add or something like that. So, you know, just a few more shares I'll be adding of this stock, and then it'll be fully built out, and I'll just, you know, it'll just be a hold for me, and we'll see where this goes over the coming years. I think we have a great chance to make a ton of money in the stock over time. We'll see what happens at the end of the day, guys. But anyways, smash a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, we hit 2,999 likes or more in this video. I'll go ahead and do a video where I show you all my Tesla shares and all my accounts with the cost basis shown. All right, guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.